Thank you for tuning in to Chillcast. Rolling in with Chillcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm joined with a very special guest, BKJ, otherwise known as the common prisoner, known for being in jail a lot, prison, the whole 9 yards.
No.
He's been on the channel before, he's done some music, and he's here today to, is it okay if I tell them?
Sure.
He's here today to teach you why you don't want to go to prison. And he's going to do kind of like a scared straight kind of thing. And, just kind of, tell you about his experiences with fentanyl, cocaine, you name it. You've done it all.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, let's segue back into the podcast. We'll get on to the drugs and your years of usage later.
Yeah.
But what do you think about college so far?
I would say college is not what I expected, I guess. Well, sort of. I expected it, but then some things, the little things that I didn't expect, were a surprise. But so far, it's just been a little stressful, but I think it's going well.
And do you think that, do you think the work seems like the same, or from compared to college work compared to high school work, does it seem about the same in difficulty?
For sort of, it's a little harder just because of timing, and since you don't see every teacher every day, it's kind of harder because you're not there to ask them immediately, but you can email them, but it's just you have to rely on your instincts and just make sure you do the work, and it's very bad if you don't do the work compared to high school where you have a chance to make it up.
Yeah, there are very few professors that do makeup work at all. Which is one thing that my high school teachers warned me about, which has been true. But what's funny is I feel like high school teachers go so hard on, or really try to scare the crap out of you when it comes to college professors, because most of them will say they don't care about, they care so much about deadlines that if you have a life emergency, they don't even care. If you're late in the class, they don't care. They'll fail you right there. Really, most of my professors are very forgiving. If there's something, in your life keeping you from doing your work properly, they'll work with you. They may not be able to do makeup exams all the time, but they'll make, they'll make exceptions in dire situations. And if you need more time on work, sometimes they'll give it to you. But there are a few professors who fall into the trope of, the deadline is the deadline, no makeups.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's really a mixed bag from my experience. It really depends. But I've been lucky in my major. Most of the people that I've had as a professor are very forgiving, very cool, laid back.
Yeah.
I can joke with them. I feel like I'm just talking to a friend. But one thing that, I was excited about going into college was that, the behavior will be better. People will, talk, will not talk during class, or, be really quiet and respectful. Sadly, I've come to find that's not always the case.
Yeah, I think I've been lucky because in my classes so far, there's been no behavioral things.
Behavioral stuff?
Yeah. everyone's been pretty good. There's no like distractions, and if it's a distraction, it's usually from the professor.
What's funny though is like I've only ever experienced like bad, like annoying, like talking behavior in some of my upper like major classes, which you wouldn't expect, but it's because some people are so like narcissistic and they consider themselves like intellectuals
Yeah.
to the point where they think they know more than the professor, and they will tell you about it. Like I was in this one psych class, and this guy behind me would not stop talking to this girl next to him. I feel like he was trying to like impress her with what he knew about the class already, but he would do that while the professor was teaching, and it was just so annoying. Like it was just so frustrating. And then one time the professor actually had to call him out on it. Like, hey, can you stop talking? And it was so awkward, but I was happy finally someone called attention to it.
Yeah. I said, there was one day, I think, like the professor was talking and he was like just starting, and these people like were having a conversation, and they were having the conversation before the professor started talking, but he started talking, and they just like they get the thing where they get quiet.
They get really quiet, and they think no one can hear them.
And then I was like, I literally just like kind of just like I looked back at them, looked forward, they were still talking. I waited a second, and then I was like, and then they stopped talking.
It's really irritating because you think that goes away in college, but that's really not always true. At first, it was true. Like people were pretty respectful, but then it's just random. Random classes are weird.
I think it's like once they get comfortable, they just like go back, like
they go back in time.
They go back in time.
Also, there's like this weird dynamic where, there are a lot of professors that are like really cool. They're obviously very passionate when they're teaching, and like I said, they're forgiving with deadlines. But then some people take that as a cue to like try to walk over them and not treat them with respect.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying because it ruins that dynamic for everyone. Because I had this one professor, super nice professor, was as I described, and halfway through the year, people were just talking halfway through class, or in the middle of class, people were saying mean things on like group chats and stuff, and eventually the professor actually had to be added because someone made a mention of cheating or something.
Ooh.
And that was really stupid because then once that's reported, like someone goes, oh, well, I need to tell the professor that they're doing that, then they have to be, they have to be aware of it. And then it just like the day after going into that class was like the atmosphere was so heavy. But I was lucky because I didn't ever say anything negative. I liked that class.
But you felt the weight.
I felt the weight in the room. It was like so heavy. And that's frustrating when people think, oh, this is a great situation. Let me figure out how I can ruin it by not being respectful, doing stupid things.
Yeah.
And these people are usually very smart. That's the weird thing. It's like they find weird situations to do stupid things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what can I mess up today? What can I?
Yeah.
It's just it's really annoying.
Yeah. The cheating thing.
Yeah.
Almost like every introduction of like a course and like every class says do not plagiarize. So don't plagiarize in college, okay?
Yeah, that's not the camera. This is the camera.
The camera? Okay. How about this? Is this the camera?
Yeah, there's probably cameras right there too.
Okay. Don't plagiarize in college, okay? It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
I haven't done it. I've only done that with taxes. But anyway.
Yeah, tax fraud, minor tax fraud. It's fine.
Yeah.
So let's see. College, interesting time in life. I want your thoughts on has any professor told you about like the bingo card thing?
The bingo card thing?
There's, how do I explain it? It's like a reward system for specifically this campus. I don't know if all class, I don't know, because it's usually, in my major, a lot of professors do it. So basically it's like whoever, pays attention, is quiet in class, and right when the professor releases you, if you say bingo, you can fill out a card.
Mm-hmm.
It's crickets? What the heck? Am I hallucinating?
That wasn't
Did
an
you
audio.
hear that?
That was not an audio. That was real.
That's so weird. Anyway, I don't know if that's being picked up.
I don't know, but
we're hallucinating cricket sounds. But basically, if you remember to say bingo, because that's like a symbol of you, or an example of you paying attention because you remembered even while covering content.
yeah.
If you say bingo and you do it 5 times in the month, you get your card filled out. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at me like you don't believe me.
No, it's very interesting.
You're grinning like you don't believe me.
No. It's as real as the cricket.
Yeah. Well, next time you talk to your professor, say, "Hey, I'd like the bingo card that we are supposed to get with class," and you can fill it out. They do little stamps.
Yeah.
At the end of each.
It's kind of like the gold star system.
Yeah. And if you get a really good amount of bingo cards filled out, including the free space and all that, the professor will also put you in a raffle for a chance to win a trip to Disney World.
Disney World? Wow. Okay.
And you get one of those like yo-yos, a cool little yo-yo. Mm-hmm. And you get an MP3 player from 2001. and you get entered in a raffle to get $50.
Oh, cool.
And there are 8,000 participants.
Yeah, that seems right.
And if it's a tie, somehow if it's a tie in a raffle, they split it up evenly. Mm-hmm. So it might amount to like a few cents, but at least you won the raffle.
Cool. I didn't know about that.
I learned that you should definitely go up to your professor and say, "Hey, I want to do the college bingo card."
Yeah, I'll do that.
And they won't think you're crazy, I promise.
Yeah. Is that why a lot of like in like retirement homes they play bingo because they're remembering college?
Yeah, it was like, oh, let's think about how our college days.
Yeah.
Let's do bingo to commemorate college because that everyone associates bingo with college. Mm-hmm. And filling out bingo cards in class. Yeah. Because that's it's an origin of it,
How do you get the it's the free space, but is there anything you have to do to get the free space?
No, you just mark it in.
Oh, okay, okay.
But the professor has to mark your bingo card.
Okay.
Yeah. So just next time you're in class, just talk to someone about that.
Do you get like 2 bingo marks if you shout it out in the middle of class?
Well, I know a couple professors will give you mark your bingo card if you slip them like a couple ounces of Fent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that? I'm hearing crickets again. Is that real?
Is that in the walls?
I think there are crickets in the walls. We just recently got this new studio, and the last tenants were like wood shop workers, and I think they had a lot of termites and stuff in the walls, so that's why we got it so cheap.
Yeah.
So there might be crickets in the walls too, and termites. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what were your thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine?
It was a really funny movie. I really liked it because we got to see Wolverine's original suit, or one of the original suits, and I never actually seen a Deadpool movie, so it's a good movie to where it's you don't have to watch the other two to understand it.
Yeah. I just think that no spoilers, but I will spoil one scene. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's gonna ruin anyone's experience seeing the movie, but I feel like halfway through, when Wade and Hugh Jackman are in that car, and they kind of get a little too, personal, with each other. Yeah. I mean, I get it. A lot of characters have sexual tension in movies that's never addressed. Yeah. But I feel like they could have. I mean, it's an R-rated film, but I didn't expect Disney's first R-rated film to have a fully nude sex scene.
Yeah. They tried their best to cover up with the seatbelts, but
you saw everything.
You saw everything.
And Deadpool's all wrinkled and stuff, so it kind of looked like it was a younger man having sex with a very wrinkly man, but that's the same age. I don't know how old Ryan Reynolds is versus Hugh Jackman.
Probably around the same age.
Probably around the same age, but
character-wise,
because they were in that Wolverine movie together.
Yeah.
So, but I just think and also just, it is an R-rated film, but even in R-rated films, sex scenes don't usually go on for that long.
Yeah, that was a long one.
For it to be like half of like the movie's runtime,
Yeah.
like distributed throughout the film, like flashbacks, like that's an interesting way to structure a film, but like I just don't really feel like I feel like it broke up the plot too much.
And I know they were just trying to be funny to like represent like their other movies, but playing the Greatest Showman soundtrack during the whole scene, that wasn't like, I mean,
how did they get the rights to that?
Yeah, I don't know, and it's just when you have that type of scene with such wholesome music, it really just ruins the music for you. So now anytime you hear that music, you just think of
Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds just going at it in the car.
Yeah.
And, we saw that movie on my birthday.
Yeah.
So I was really excited. But I got to be honest, when those like clips of them, doing it throughout the movie, it was a shock. Like, it felt like it wasn't earned. Like there was no like build up to their relationship.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, I don't know. Like, I guess Disney really, like, when you see a movie about two awesome characters, you understand that they have like some sort of relationship. Like, it's not like spoken. Like, it's showcased. It's like show not tell. They don't go, we're friends. And so I respect the show not tell method, but like showing them having that much sex in a action movie, it almost like, okay, we get it now. Like they really are in love. And I don't know where that came from though, because the trailers made it look like they fought a lot.
Yeah, it was weird. It would have been fine if like each scene where they were in like built more tension.
Like it was like oh, Deadpool dropped his swords, Wolverine picked it up for him.
Yeah.
Hey man, here's the sword. Like
a longer pat on the back.
Maybe they like have a heart-to-heart moment where they realize they were both bullied for being mutants.
Yeah.
Or something in high school.
What?
No, I just realized like the idea of them being Wolverine's lived for like 300 years.
Yeah.
He would never be in high school.
You've never gone to high school.
And that's not even the most far-fetched idea, because I don't think they had high schools since the Civil War.
Yeah.
This concludes our bit. I hope some of you guys didn't hate that. I hope that was actually funny. It was funny to me. I wanted to see how far we could go with that.
Hope it wasn't as long as the scene.
As long as the sex scene.
Yeah.
They had. As long as the tender moment they shared.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know why that's what got me to stop. It's like, wait, did Wolverine in high school? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
He lived through the like 17 wars.
You were doing so good.
I was doing so good, and I was like, wait, why is that the thing that broke up?
Yeah, I don't know. Everything else.
The seatbelts and them in a car.
Greatest Showman music playing.
And then kind of that is our best attempt at improvisational comedy.
Yeah.
And I bet it was really bad. I'm sorry for those who saw the movie and went, oh, they were just making this up. I hope some of you guys maybe bought into that for a little bit.
A little bit. Maybe you misremembered.
Like maybe I misremember that, or maybe people saw the trailers and went, "Yeah, I bet they'd pull like that, for a shock factor," But no, that we hate to break it to you, there is not a hour-long, randomly distributed sex scene between Wolverine and Deadpool. I bet Ryan Reynolds wanted that, just to really shock people, but no, that is not the case.
Yeah,
it would be beautiful if it was, I bet they could really no, that would make no sense. I just thought, why not have our first episode back include us talking about two superheroes cutting up an action film with sex scenes? Why not just start that? I think like it was a good transition. Your first experience with college and Wolverine and Deadpool having sex.
Yep.
I think that's a great transition.
Bingo.
Bingo. Yeah, that's what we call a callback.
A callback.
In the business. Feels a little weirdly timed, but so was that sex scene in the Deadpool movie.
Yep.
So, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, don't know where to go from there.
Anyway, well, how about talk about music? I don't know.
Where do you go? That was just such a great segment of the podcast. Where do you go from here?
Where do you go? Yeah, we can't. It's only down from here.
I could share a personal anecdote from my time in college.
Cool.
Yes, very formal. A long time ago, when I first started, I was sitting down in the downtown area and I was selling some artwork. I had a little setup, and this one man walked over and he was just playing a harmonica, just willy nilly, and like no specific order of notes, just random notes. It wasn't a very great melody. It was just very. He was not talented. I hate to say it. He was just not good at playing the harmonica. The sequence of notes was very grating and it was loud and it was just bad. Don't know how he managed to do that, but like, and he walked up and he passed two people playing guitar in the street, trying to make money, like two buskers, and he like scared away their like audience basically. Because he's just like this tall, like imagine Santa, but really tall and very skinny. And he just has like a blank stare. He walked up to me playing his harmonica and he was like, "Oh, you selling art? You need some accompaniment?" And he starts like playing all crazy. And it scared everyone that was even looking at my artwork. Like, they just walked away. And I was like, great. And like, then he just started talking to me about Van Gogh. He's like, yeah, Van Gogh's family got all his money. Like his children got all of his money. And he didn't get any of his money.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Because
and he was like, did you know that Van Gogh cut off his ear? Van Gogh?
I think that's
he
very
cut off his
common
ear.
knowledge.
And he's like, yeah, and they took all his money. And I'm like, just sitting there like, please go away. And I don't know. And then he was like, yeah, I'll see you later. He starts playing his harmonica like it's a walkout song,
Yeah.
his walkout theme. And then, no kidding, the next weekend, he walks up to me and does the very same thing. And he has the exact same conversation with me. He's like, did you know that Van Gogh, his kids got all of his money? He didn't get any of his money. And like, he did never remember that he did that. I feel like he's living on like Groundhog Day or something. He just will always forget that he said the exact same thing to me. And that like happened at least 2 or 3 times. He would have that same conversation with me and I wouldn't be able to contribute. I just like smile and nod.
Smile and nod.
Smile and wave, boys.
Smile and wave.
And whenever I saw him after those incidents, I would kind of like try to walk across the street, like, so I wouldn't like cross paths with him. Cause I don't know. He also just kind of, he's probably like a great guy, very, very nice man, but he just kind of creeped me out because like, he just seemed a little off. Like he never, like he didn't remember that he's had that conversation with me a billion times. And I would always come to the same spot for like a period of weeks. Like I would go to that same spot to sell artwork. And it was just a little unnerving, just to say the least. It was like, I don't know. Maybe he was living on Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
We're just progressing and he's not. I don't know. But yeah, so that was a thing. One time I was, it was late it was a school night. I wanted to go to Walmart, get some stuff. And I walked to Walmart from my dorm. And I'm walking on this like little side part where there's no sidewalk. And there's this guy walking directly towards me. And I'm like, oh, I'll like, step over here and then walk past him so I don't bump into him.
Yeah.
And I start doing that. And he goes, hey, watch out for the cars. And I'm on the road technically. So I was like, oh, okay. And I'm walking. And then he goes, hey, come here, bro. And he starts reaching for me. Like he's going to grab me. And this is like an older guy too. And I feel like if I wasn't like fast enough, he was probably going to like try to kidnap me. Because he like reaches, he goes, hey, come here, bro. And he like reaches and grabs me. Almost tries to, he doesn't actually grab me, but he reaches out to try to grab me. And I was like legitimately scared for a little bit. So I started like speed walking. I just didn't even look at him. And I got into the Walmart and I like kind of looked around to see if he was like waiting for me outside, and he wasn't. And long story short, I left the Walmart fine. He wasn't there. But that creeped me out. Like, that was one of the first times, because like where we live, it's not, if you see anybody like around in the neighborhood, they're pretty friendly,
Yeah.
pretty normal people. But there, like, this was like just kind of a sketchy part of town.
Yeah.
On the way to the Walmart of all places,
Mm-hmm.
and I probably would have been taken. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm sure I could fight him if he was really going to try to take me or something. But I don't know. What other reason would you say, "Hey, come here," and reach for someone?
When you're giving a hug to your friend you know very well.
Yeah,
Not
I
a
don't know
random
this
stranger.
guy. Yeah, I don't know this guy. Yeah, it was an experience. So the lesson I'm trying to impart to you is that if you go to the downtown area late at night, be very afraid and don't talk to anyone or get near anyone, because if they're out as late as I was, they might not have the best intentions.
Yeah.
Be smart and be with someone, or make sure someone knows where you're going. I mean, that's just good in any case. But yeah, this area, there's a lot of nice people.
Yeah.
A lot of locals that are people that come to the downtown area all the time. So you'll get to know them and talk to them. It'll be nice. But be vigilant. It's there are some spooky characters, some interesting characters.
I don't think, I mean, not for like college, like my college experience, because I haven't had a lot of it, but I don't think I have any stories of like to that extent of like scariness
Probably a
with
good
a
thing.
stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but like, but it's just like really nothing to share. The only thing would be just like tiny things, and that's just like not compared to "come here, bro."
Yeah, come here, bro.
Come here, bro.
What a catchphrase.
Say that to someone, and then don't move, because if you actually try to grab them, that will scare them. But just be like, "Come here, bro,"
Yeah.
and just do nothing until they are very confused.
We're gonna come out with "Come Here, Bro" shirts
Come here, bro. Yeah,
pretty soon. We'll have that up on the website.
Maybe we can do like a preview.
Yeah, here's the preview.
Here's
of
a preview. Come here, bro. Coming out 2028.
2028. It'll take us a couple years to
Yeah.
really hone the craft of the shirt.
To sew each individual shirt. We can only sew 5 at the beginning.
Yeah, we're gonna get like special military grade microfibers to make these shirts, so that it's gonna feel like you're wearing a giant like glass wipe.
Oh yeah.
You know, it'll be waterproof, bulletproof. It'll be sweat resistant.
So yeah.
And uranium resistant.
Yeah, that's
Just
important.
like, it's important, especially for our fan base, I think. Yeah. So anyway, have you ever tried any drugs? Because you're in college, that's what you're supposed to do.
Not yet, actually.
Yeah. Well, there are some professors that'll slip you fent.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think one tried, but then another student came up and they kind of hid it because, like, they don't want to
share.
Yeah, they don't want to share. Like,
they don't want to give out.
They try to give it to
all of
new
their
students
supply.
so they like them.
Yeah, it's what draws in new students.
Yeah. So once you become like a returning student, it just like you don't get it unless you can convince another like a freshman. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I really, I didn't know enough professors early on to get a regular supply of fentanyl, but like once you really get to know them, you get some good grades in their class, they'll give you a little ounce here and there, a little sliver, just to keep you perked up. That's one uncommon, like one unknown thing about college. Most people don't realize it, but they say like, oh, some people just start doing drugs in college or smoke weed in college and all that. It's not really them doing it, it's the professors providing it. But they can't officially say that they're providing it, because then everyone will want to apply to that one school that applies the most, that supplies the most drugs.
Yeah.
They don't want people to know about it. It's kind of like an open secret, like for people on campus.
Yeah.
They don't want you to apply to the school just for the drugs.
Yeah.
Because
they want you to actually learn.
Yeah. The fentanyl is just a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, don't do drugs unless your professor supplies it to you.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think that's a good motto to live by.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like a religious, saying, if you will.
Can you pull up the Bible verse?
Now, here's the Bible verse that says it's okay to do fentanyl.
Yeah.
I hope I can do a decent green screen edit here because the wrinkles make it difficult. But
Yeah. Gives the character.
yeah, it might look bad. I think you're pretty prepared for school. This college, people are pretty friendly. Professors are cool. Advisors are nice. What is one thing about the college experience that you did not expect?
I don't actually know. Like I said before, it's like I expected a lot of things, and like they did happen, and then the things I didn't expect were like the little things, I guess. I didn't expect. It's not completely free time, but the amount of free time. Like obviously you need to do assignments and things, but like you have free time to do those assignments when you need to, and if you get them done, you have a lot of free time. Even if you have a class like later, you still have a bunch of time between classes to do work, which you like should. And if you don't need to do work, you just have time to chill. Like I'm in my first year, and like even though I have a bunch of classes, I still have somewhat of a good time. But I didn't expect like that much free time.
Yeah, you really have to learn to manage your time well, because time management is one thing that a lot of my friends going into college did not have, and it hurt them pretty quickly. They were getting behind on assignments, and it's like they had the time, they just didn't dedicate it properly.
For like free time. Free time usually means you can do anything you want, but like it's like you need to focus on. You have a bunch of time. What are you free to do like now? Like you can do work, you can do this and do this.
There are very few instances during the semester where during the week there's very few like days I'm not doing some sort of assignment, or at least like starting an assignment. It's better to. Now I do procrastinate pretty bad, but I always say that I procrastinate safely. Like I'll go, I'm not going to do this assignment until this day, and that's like actually a day before the actual deadline. So I get to the point I get to that point that I set that deadline for myself, and I kind of stress out, because I want it to be done by this point, so I really work on it, and then I'm relieved because when I turn it in, I technically had a whole other day to do it. But I'm not going to miss the deadline at midnight or something like that. I just leave room for I just leave room for myself to comfortably get the assignment done, but also still procrastinate. So really, it's not actually procrastination, but in my mind it is, because I wait till the last minute. But time management. A lot of people, every single person that I've talked to that's like going into college this year, or they're starting as a freshman, they always say, "Is it hard? Is college hard?" And I'm like, well, it kind of depends on the major, your abilities, what are you good at, but also a lot of it, the difficulty depends on you. Are you going to spend the proper time to study and learn? Are you going to use your time well? And a lot of people are their own worst enemy, and it just they don't use their time properly. They get behind on assignments. They turn things in late. They don't work well on group projects, and they make other people struggle because of it. That's a whole other thing. Group projects in college are either great or absolutely horrible, because that's one thing that's pretty common from high school as well. Group projects, no, not good. For the most part, honestly. I've had very bad experiences with group projects. There have been very few instances where people actually work on things and actually communicate well and have good ideas and are contributing. It's not very often. So
the reason
get ready for that.
The reason I looked up is because I had the cricket again.
There are crickets in this room, I think. There might they could function as our audience, I guess. So.
Yeah. When we make a whole bit about Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah, I bet they love that.
Yep. I think there was one perfectly timed, I think, one time.
It probably won't be picked up in the audio, but...
Yeah. So you just have to think we're crazy.
Yeah. Don't look... That's not the camera. This is a camera.
I know. I like looking down at the floor.
Well, your catchphrase is I like looking down on people.
Yeah.
You said that at our second cousin's wedding.
Yeah.
You said, "Hey guys, congratulations. I just want to say I love looking down on people. I love looking at you guys as little pawns in my big game."
Mm-hmm.
Because you're always thinking about how people are worse than you, how you're better, how everyone, when you let someone borrow something, you say it's castling.
Yeah.
You refer to doing a favor for someone as retrieving your queen. Everything is a chess metaphor for you. You would say that's true, though, right?
Yeah. Punched someone once, and
you punched someone once?
Yeah, and that was me sacrificing, because obviously when I punch them, they're not gonna be my friend anymore. So
yeah, and at one point they were your pawn.
Yes.
So you're sacrificing your pawn.
Yeah, I'm sacrificing my pawn because I had to get ahead and move my knight somewhere, but the pawn was in the way, so I had to sacrifice it so I could get the path to winning.
Yeah. Well, everything, you always say that everything is a big chess game to you, and I'm interested to see how you apply that perspective to college, because not everyone really realizes that they're in your world.
Yeah.
And that's a shame. I just think it's funny that whenever someone embarrasses themselves or like trips, you go checkmate under your breath. Eventually I feel like they'll read into it and realize that you're like winning the metaphorical game. But sadly, I don't think most people are going to understand that for a while. And also, I am very surprised how in high school you were a very empathetic person, but now that you view the world as your big chessboard, you even seem unempathetic, you don't have any empathy when you go to like funerals and any kind of sad event, like when people text you and they're sad, you just tell them to, you just go, leave, like don't talk to me, I don't care about your troubles. That's one thing I feel like.
Care about your troubles, pawn. You got the pawn at the end.
Yeah, in your phone contacts, they're listed as friend name pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some are listed as knights.
What?
Some are only a select few are knights and
people you
bishops.
view as better than the pawns because they're part of a certain racial group and they have a certain sexuality.
Don't do this to me, guys. Please, I just got here.
This is false.
It's funny until
I just like the idea of someone like cutting that clip out of context. It's like, man, Brian really changed in college. That's crazy.
Well, good thing YouTube doesn't have like a short version of videos, right?
Yeah, thank goodness they haven't invented that yet. I like the idea, or I don't like the idea, or the idea of someone being like that in real life is really funny to me, but it would be really messed up if someone was like that in real life.
Yeah.
Like every single like favor or good doing onto them, they view as like a way to step up and get up in the world. I mean, I guess there are probably a lot of like CEOs like that who view everything as a way to better their situation selfishly and not help others. Like, I mean, there are a lot of people in the government like that. That's our political talk for the day. The day. Getting a little tongue tied here. Yeah. So, just really interesting social commentary. That's what people come to this podcast for.
Yep.
That and very long, drawn out bits that probably don't land, but land for us.
Yeah, this is a good first episode.
This is a great first episode to come back to.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, it's been so long, they must have been really working hard on their material and how they organize their topics. And it's like, nope, we're just the same.
Yep.
Whether you think that's good or bad, I guess it's up for interpretation.
Thanks to all our faithful viewers staying here.
And dealing with our BS.
Yep.
It took us about like 3 hours to set up this set.
Yeah.
And I'm still not completely happy with it. We're gonna have to figure out how we can decorate it more, make it look more interesting.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're coming to a close here, and this is the part of the podcast where you do your vocal solo.
Oh, okay.
So any time, just
okay. You are all pawns to me, and I don't care about your well-being. You're pawns, just pawns, sacrificed at any moment. I hate you so much.
I wasn't really expecting you to actually do that. That's insane. I was gonna like cut it right before you started, but then that was beautiful.
Yep. I forgot. I was gonna get into the fentanyl part, but I ran out.
So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It probably a little jumbled. We're kind of nervous getting back into the swing of things, and Brian is new to the podcast for the most part, and I hope you guys somewhat enjoyed that. If it's just like like if we just stretch those jokes out for too long, that's fine. We're still learning how to do this podcast thing. The whole point of this podcast in general is just for us to get in front of a camera and have fun.
Yeah. Try
to make each other laugh. If it doesn't always land, it's whatever. Let us know in the comments. Be kind. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time. And if any of you guys want to earn extra points on the bingo card that we will be mailing out to you guys, figure out how many times in the video I blinked, write that down on a Google Doc, submit it to us through our email, and nothing will happen.